Showtime. Hi, everybody, and welcome once again on Friday afternoon to the Harp Effect with Marcia and Yo Reno. And today we have just the most miraculous. I tried to come up with a really brilliant new word, but there wasn't one. Miraculous, awesome, fabulous, persistent, loving, kind. I mean, it was like it goes on. And there were just, for our dear guest, who I've just recently met, but now she can escape, but I won't let her, because this is Marty Kurner. And Marty, I think I need a little preface here. I met her a couple times through the Rotary Club that Reno belongs to here in the Coachella Valley in Southern California, and I thought she was lovely. Well, everybody, you must go to Sue Talk. Is that how you? Because you had a little trouble finding it.
No problem.
Okay, Sue. It's like Sue, S-U-E, Talk.
Like TED Talk, but with Sue.
But with Sue, and I'm going to ask you more about that.
Perfect.
But when it made me unbelievably sad and happy at the same time, because this is the kind of woman who can change the world. I just know you can. I mean, I know you can. What you've done with your own life, Marty, is a testimonial to, like, it's kind of like if we just sort of like turn the key and off you go. Wow. But don't go too far, because I want her as a good friend now. Marty, how are you today?
I'm great. It's gorgeous here in my backyard.
Yes. See, I thought I would be part of the wild. I knew we were going to be out here amongst the trees and the lions and the tigers. And what is it? A zebra?
Zebra.
I'm a zebra today.
Yeah, and I'm a flower.
And I'm the keeper.
Yeah. Lucky him.
So how did we met you through the Rotary here?
Yes, Mecca Rotary.
And how did you even get to the desert? Because you were born in Tucson, and then I'm going to let you talk, Marty, because I just can't imagine.
It's an interesting story for my life, because I've moved 57 times in 70 years. And so one night I was laying in bed and I was thinking, how many times have you moved? Because all my friends call me Gypsy.
My brother would say you were probably one step ahead of the law.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So
67. I'm going to go home.
57 times.
Listen, who's counting at that point?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
I laid in bed because I couldn't sleep, and I was counting how, from the time that I moved out of my father's home, how many times I've moved in my life, and it came up to be 57. And this is actually 58. This is 58.
Well, this could be the stopping off point, I'll tell you, because where Marty lives here in, is this called
La Quinta.
In La Quinta, California, is so gorgeous, and her beautiful home, and this is just a part of it. This is her patio, and that's why I dressed for the occasion.
It's breathtaking.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
It is. So, Marty, sort of, I think you will do a better job, since I really just heard the whole story last night on Sue Talk. And first of all, Tucson. Start back where you were born.
Well, Tucson, 70 years ago, there were only 50,000 people. And people think of Tucson as a big city. It is a big city now. But when I was born and raised, we lived in the same house. I lived in that house for 19 years until I moved away with my military husband to Alaska.
Alaska?
And I took a long trip on military planes to get there. And I got there in February of, like 1970. I think it was 1970 that I got to Alaska. And when I started to get off this big, huge military plane that had tanks and big Jeeps on it and everything. I got off and I looked out and it was white on white. I didn't know where I was standing. Your equilibrium goes crazy because it was white snow and white everywhere.
Had you ever seen snow?
Well,
From Tucson.
there were a couple times because when I was a little girl, it did snow a couple times, but it melted like 2 hours later. But we had a chance to make a snowman, you know.
Ooh.
But anyway, so I moved to Alaska when I was 19, and my ex-husband was a military man, and back then we lived in Quonset huts on the base. And so, you know, the big metal things. And then, and my daughter was born a year after at the military hospital at Elmendorf. And she's been the joy of my life for 51 years.
Sweet.
She's 51.
Oh my goodness, you're not that old.
I'm 70.
Yay. You.
Yep, and proud of it. You know,
Yes, you've earned every year.
Oh, people that aren't proud of who they are and what they've accomplished and their age. If you can't just say, "I'm 70 years old and I'm proud of it," there's something wrong with you, because living life is a blessing from God. And God gives us miracles every day. I mean, it may be little tiny things that happen in our lives, but then you have these big miracles. And all my girlfriends laugh at me because I always say, you know, I don't have any projects. My company has no projects today. What am I going to do? And I look up at God and go, please give me some more projects. And then all of a sudden, a day or two later, I have people calling me for another project for commercial furniture. So, you know, you gotta sit back, and this is what I've done most of my life. In fact, you know, when I was a child, 3 years old, I was locked in the closet. My mother used to lock me in the closet when everybody would go to school and my father would go off to work. She just did not want me. She called me a mistake my whole life. So she didn't want me. And so that was where I lived for 3.5 years till I started first grade.
And you were still in Tucson.
And I was still in Tucson.
You did hear her say started her furniture company. So you can imagine those 57 moves that went from being locked in a closet at 3 years old in the dark to what she has built. That she's going to get to this. And just as we travel through her journey here, she has this company, and it's called
Hodden Group USA. And the reason it has a USA, and I have our beautiful grand old flag as our logo, is because I was working in civil service with the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson. And I was there and did a lot for the commanders, and it was amazing. So we only sell American-made products.
Applause.
And a lot of people think that's like impossible to do. You know, when everything's overseas and made here, made there. But you made that statement go away.
Yeah, and the other statement is, oh, American-made is so expensive. No, it is not.
Mm-mm.
No, it is not.
It's a fallacy.
Yes, and it was probably brought over by the Chinese so that people would think, oh, well, I'll buy everything in China because it's cheap. Well, it's not only cheap, it's made badly. And there's a lot of toxins in the products they make. And that's why we sell American-made, because it's whole, it's clean, it's beautiful. And why not support your country and your state? I mean, people don't believe how many manufacturers are right here in this beautiful state of confusion, California.
Well, you know,
that was great.
You know, it's
Yes,
not only
indeed.
just the furniture industry; it's also the pet food.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not buying local pet food, you know, you're taking your chances.
Yeah, you are. Everything is made for my little Stella. Everything's made in the USA.
My cat eats better than I do.
Oh, so does my little monkey.
Well, in her travels, as Reno and I watched the Sioux Talk last night and found out she's who's who in America, business women,
Yes,
business
ma'am.
women,
Yes.
who's who. But that was just one of the pretty plaques and awards. Over here were this one and then another big one, and
I've received a lot of awards and certifications from political people, but the one that I love the most is my flag from Afghanistan.
ooh,
Oh,
tell, say.
wow.
Well, when I decided to move back to Tucson because Dad had starting of dementia, I decided that I would just go to the commanders because they were, I worked for all of them at the 355th Wing Command, and I said, Commander, I have to move to Tucson. My dad is getting older, and he said, you don't need to explain. You need to do what you need to do, but we will miss you so much.
Aw.
A week later, they had this party with 400 people from the base.
And where was the base?
It was not Elmendorf, Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson.
Ah, okay.
And so they had this big party for me for lunch, and people that I didn't even know came, and it was phenomenal. And they gave me this beautiful plaque that is built-in like a house, and in the top of it is the flag that flew during 9/11. It was flown over to Afghanistan by the folks in the 355th Command to fly over that facility. It flew over that facility for 5 years, and then they brought it home for me.
Oh my gosh, Marty.
It's encased.
Does it leave? Now very few things leave me speechless. But this is just so heartwarming because you are such an incredibly giving person for everything you've gone through, or even if whether you did or you didn't, easily flow through these things. Whatever it is, she has maintained this quality of lovingness and kindness. She said earlier today, I've never hated anyone.
No, I mean, my business partner, Tracy, our first 2 years we did a ton of business with the U.S. government because of my background. And I went to sing at Carnegie Hall in 2013.
No, you have to explain that a little bit because my
You just happened to
following
be
knows
at
that I'm a
open
singer.
mic and sang at Carnegie Hall, or what?
No, we actually went there to sing the Requiem on Mother's Day. And
This was a group that you belonged to.
yes, the Crystal Cathedral Choir. I was in that for
Out
15
of?
years. Out of Orange County area.
Oh yes, the Crystal.
Yeah, and so I called her because I was there for 2 weeks, and I kept calling, and there was no answer. And, because I don't think the way a narcissist thinks or a person that doesn't care about others, I couldn't understand. I started getting worried about her, thinking, oh my gosh, something happened to her. And then I got home, and I went directly to her home where she had her office.
This is your partner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I knew her for 5 years, and they were gone. And I went to the bank thinking, I better go to the bank. God was telling me, go to the bank. And only $100 was left in the account. And we had over $1 million.
And this is after you came back from Carnegie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Yep. All the money that I invested in the company, all the dedication of running, joining everything. I joined 17 groups when I started the company. So I was in every chamber, anything and everything. And I come home to this. And I can't even explain to people the feeling that you have when, and I've been put aside by a lot of people in my life. I've been hurt a lot by people in my life. And I still cry about it because, it's here. It's not here, it's here. People have broken my heart. But that makes me a better person. It makes me a strong person. God would never put anything upon you if he didn't feel you could take it, that you could walk through the fire and come out the other end. He never gives up on you. And he loves you with all of his heart. So how can I ever look back and say, I hate this person, I hate this person, look what they did to me. Look. I just don't know how to hate.
And that wasn't her only loss. I mean, now you're only, what, at this point, in your 20s?
Yeah, I was early 20s and went through a divorce with the husband that I had that was in the military. We lived in Anchorage, Alaska. And once I moved with him onto base, and I was very pregnant, he started beating me up. He was drinking and hurting me physically, mentally, and I was afraid for my life because one night he came home drunk from some party on base and put my head through the door, the bedroom door. And that's when I knew that I had to get out, because the reason I left my mother and father, my father was an amazing human being, but he didn't want to see bad things. He didn't want to get involved. So he didn't know that my mother was locking me up in this dark closet day after day when everybody'd go to work and school, and I'd sit there. And that's the first time I met Jesus Christ, was when I was sitting in the dark as a 3-year-old. And some voice came to me as a child and just said, you're going to be okay.
At that time, you didn't realize it was
I had no
Jesus.
idea. I had no idea, but I knew I was safe. There was a calming that came through me, and I just picked up my little doggy toy, and I hugged it, and I told him, we're going to be okay.
Well, she sure is okay for me. I'll tell you, this woman is. Why have we brought Marty to the world that we have here, and introduced her to our world and our friends and anybody else who, because she inspires us, and that's what is so needed.
Well, originally, I was just so impressed that you had a woman-owned business. That was, and then
100%.
Yeah, and talking to you a little bit, I knew there was more. And then when you introduced us to the Sioux Talk, I'm like, oh my God! I was just so blown away, because being in sales myself, I know everybody wears a mask, everybody has stuff, and when you think your world is the worst until you meet somebody else that went through this, but yet come out on the other side. Some people look at my life and go, you went to 3 schools in the 3rd grade? I go, yeah. And I still was a straight A student.
Right.
Well,
it's amazing, because Tracy and I were downtown in, not Newport. It was in LA County, one of the big cities out there. And we had a new client, and we went to see him, got the project, went downstairs, got in my little car, and we're sitting on this famous road in LA County. And it's supposed to be one of the richest areas, in the country, maybe even the world. And I'm sitting at this stop sign, and it's winter time. And all of a sudden, this young man that was homeless was walking with no shoes on. He had a back sack thing, and his hair was all gnarly. And I still cry about it, because that was when God said to me, I put people like that in front of you because I want you to be thankful to the core of what you have, and I want you to start giving back. And that's when I decided that Hawden would start giving money back from our projects. So every $5 we make on every chair that we sell, we give $5 back to a women and children abuse nonprofits. And I looked at Tracy and I said, "See that young man?" I said, "Be thankful for who you are today." And she looked at me and she just kind of laughed because she was a narcissist, but because she felt she was God.
Okay.
But that is why you have children with no limbs born. You have people that are in terrible accidents and they walk out of it and they get healed and they go forth into the world and do whatever they can. And that's why when you see poverty, when you see someone hurting, when you see someone that is homeless, don't just sit there and say, "Oh, well, he's their responsibility. That person can make it through. They don't need a kind word." They are put in this world by God, the highest power in this universe, to show us how blessed we are. Don't take advantage of that act. It's a miracle that person was walking by me that day. It was a pure miracle, because my company has given away thousands and thousands of dollars to people that are less fortunate than I am.
And you're the miracle to them, Marty.
Well, to bring awareness, what happens is lots of people they don't want to talk about it. You know, like with the child trafficking or different abuses. People are like, "Oh yeah," and then they want to talk
walk
about
away. Yeah,
talk about sports or something, right?
Yeah, and 8 million children a year are trafficked and used for horrific things, and 8 million a year. I mean, that's unbelievable, and that's throughout the world.
Right.
Please hear what she's saying now, because so many of the people in this world do not know that this is going on.
Well, with that movie coming out, The Sound of Freedom.
July 4th weekend.
Yeah, 4th of July weekend. Sound of Freedom, Tim
You go
Ballard.
to it. You go to it, and you watch it, and you go through it, and you cry, and you laugh, and you cry, and then you come out of there, and you'll be a God's child. There's no way you can watch this movie and not come out the other end knowing that there is a God and that you need to be part of this world to help.
Because they have an angel project with the movie.
Yes.
So if you can't afford to go, you can sign up for the angel project, because there's a lot of people out there donating or paying for extra tickets.
That's right.
They want to get 2 million people the 4th of July weekend to see this.
So go do it.
We'll see you there.
Marty, here's where I get to be a little assertive. Are you still singing?
I'm not singing professionally anymore, but Stella and I, when I sing and I hit high notes, because I'm a mezzo-soprano, when I hit high notes singing in the house, she starts...
So you got a duet.
But that's mean because she loves it.
Well,
Stella's the dog.
Stella's mommy's dog and mommy's best friend, and when she had surgery, she had major surgery on her back about 6 years ago, and she was just a little tiny thing, and never cried, never complained, went through this whole thing, recovery and everything, and came out the other side. Doctors told me she'd never walk again, and she ran to the doctor on the second month that she...
I'll show you how great I am.
And well, of course, the reason I ask that is because I'm always advocating in my shows and in my teaching and my students and my audiences to do what you love to do.
Yes.
And it's never too late.
No.
It's never too late. So
never.
So maybe that's why we've been brought together. I'm supposed to push you to sing some more.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
See, I found a purpose within this. With what she does, I had to dig deep, but I'm very proud of the fact that I do that, and you've inspired me, of course, to keep on keeping on with that.
right.
And I know, been the change for many of my students and people. So that's why I really admire and respect, Marty, where you stand on life, liberty, and the pursuit
of happiness.
the pursuit of a flat stomach.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
See, I had a radio show out of Arizona, out of Phoenix,
Oh, wow.
on Voice America, and it was called The Marsha Harp Show on life, liberty, and the pursuit of a flat stomach.
I love that.
Because
I love that. That's so funny.
And I'm still screaming at students, teaching now at EOS Fitness in
Yeah.
Palm Springs. And so when I meet someone like you, I feel that was a miracle for me. Because sometimes those of us that do, well, any of us, can be so drained
Oh.
and
Oh.
so depleted.
And this last 3 years, I mean, how can you not be suffering? And a lot of people, including our children, are suffering inside. They're not letting it out. They're not talking about it because they're afraid that their friends will, or go away, I don't need to listen to you,
Right.
We all have to listen to people and give them our hearts. I don't care who they are, the mailman, the guy at the grocery store. Be nice to people. I walk up to people at the grocery store, these poor little tellers. And
Yeah.
They're working their buns off, and some of them are my age. And I go up to them, and they're like, they're unhappy.
Yeah.
And
Because no one's acknowledging
no,
them.
and I wake them up, boy. I make them laugh. I talk to them. I tell them what a great job they do and how much I appreciate them. Even the little bag boys, when they help me out to my car, I want to tip them. And they're like, no, I can't take. Okay, well, here you go. Don't take it. You didn't take it. I gave it. So, we can't walk through life and not give back. And it doesn't mean you have to give money. Giving back is giving your heart to others, giving your soul to the people that love you. I never invite people to my house that I don't consider a friend. I don't have people.
Well, we've been here twice.
Yes. See, this is my zen. This is where I come to unwind and to let God talk to me. Every morning I come out here and I sit on my little glider with my coffee, and I let God tell me what He wants me to know. You don't have to say, and praying is not just laying down and saying, oh God, please. Praying is giving your life source to the higher power that you love, and listening, because He knows all. He knows everything about you. He knows about every little hair on your head. He wants you to be there for Him and to listen to what He wants you to do on this earth.
Marty, with all your trials and tribulations, you say that you started this, basically looking to God for your strength and your energy. How did you maintain that and not lose faith as each thing, because she's had things that she's not even bringing up? But if you go to Sue Talk, you will hear all the other things about her life that are like, you just think, how can somebody have that happen and still be this unbelievably giving person, and with her company of office furniture, correct?
Well, all kinds of furniture.
All
we
kinds
do
of
hotels and everything.
Okay, and how did Hodden
Hodden.
Hawden.
I took marketing, and I love selling. So when we decided to do the business, I don't do anything that's not out of the box. I mean, everything is out of the box. Everything is out of the box. I think out of the box. And so I was trying to think, okay, we want to get business cards. And I said, people love old pictures. You put an old picture in front of a person and they're like, oh, wow, what did they do? Who were they? What did they do in their life? It brings up all these questions about this person. And so I said to myself, I'm not going to do this regular old business card. So I said to Tracy, I said, let's do old pictures of people living life. And she thought, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good idea. So she went on one of the, like Amazon or somewhere, and somebody was selling a box of old family pictures. And we didn't know. We just got them in the mail. And one afternoon, we're sitting going through them, and I'm like, oh, aren't these neat? They're so neat. And Tracy made cards out of them.
Oh,
she had a
cool.
press that she would make the cards and press the back with our information. So we're sitting there, and I'm going through, and all of a sudden I see this picture of Jack Russell. And it's an old picture. It's probably the 1930s or something. So I looked at it, and I went, oh, Tracy, look at it. It's a doggy. And then I looked at the back, and it said, Marty the dog, 1937.
Oh my.
I said, Tracy, oh, Tracy, this is God telling us what our name is going to be.
Marty the dog?
No. Hodden, the family that had all these pictures, were the Hodden family.
Wow.
And so that's how we came up with the name. And then after Tracy left the company, and I said, you know what, we're going to keep doing these. I got a hold of a company called Print Train in Anaheim, and they're a family-owned business, and they're wonderful. And they make my business cards now with old pictures that they find online and that they can make.
I have a few of those around,
Yeah.
I think. Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
And
Oh,
so
my
that's
goodness.
how Hodden came about. And we did get
how
a hold of the Hodden family.
I was
And
going to say,
yes, we
Really?
found a Hodden person in Wisconsin, and we called them and said, we love your pictures. We're using them for our business cards, but we want to call our company Hodden Group. And they went, oh, that's wonderful.
Aw.
So then after Tracy left, I took on the American Made. I took on the whole realm of marketing USA.
You can see her furniture on your website?
Yes.
Which is www.hodden,
HoddenGroupUSA.com. WDEN.
HoddenGroupUSA.com.
And
of
it's
course,
on the Facebook ad too.
It's on the
Yeah.
Facebook ad
Yeah.
that Reno did such a good job,
Oh.
Reno. And so go to
Well,
yes, it was-
beautiful.
Especially
No.
once I heard the story, I was like, I got to make this one bring people in, because, like you were saying earlier, you go to the grocery store and you're not even paying attention
No.
to the people
No.
around you. At
No.
me, I usually will compliment a female checker, like her earrings or something.
Yeah.
But I always say, and my fiance would sure love those.
Yeah. Preface that. Yeah.
This is why Reno is a realtor, and then you can see if you went to get you a home or sell your home or any of these things. He's so loving and kind and wonderful.
I'll
And
bring them home with me. Hey, babe, look who's home with
Yeah, we're
us.
going to sell a home.
Reno, do you have anything to add here? I want you to also look to see who's tuned in.
Okay, I'll have to get up there.
Okay,
It's
and then
too
you
far.
can say your final closing words if you want.
Oh, I'm good.
Marty, this has just been fabulous for us to be able to expose you even
Well,
further to
thank
the world.
you so much.
And
It
you see,
really
people are they'll,
Ager Marquez.
who?
Ager Marquez. Ager.
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 That's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
It sure is. Edgar Marquez.
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 I'm sorry, Edgar. I'm going to have to
Says,
like.
miss you, Marcia.
Who says that?
Edgar.
Oh, thank you. Oh, they're probably Edgar. He's probably pronouncing it wrong, and I'm not getting it. But maybe let's see. Where would I know? Barnesville, Ohio, maybe.
Wow. Wow.
Or were you one of my students?
It says Miss You, Marcia, and then there's Georgia Hastings.
Hi, Georgia. Georgia is a beautiful musician. She plays
wow.
and good. Was just thank you for being there, Georgia.
Right now, those are the two that are live, but I mean, the last show we did, we were up to what, 450?
Yeah, we had 450
Wow.
views with our friends at the Miracle Ear.
Wow.
Where they were fitting Joe with the hearing aid.
Wow.
But he was also blind.
Oh.
But you can go to the foundation at Miracle Ear
Yes.
and apply for free hearing aids.
Wow.
And I talked to them today, right before we came, and said that they were doing a follow-up on him through the
how
foundation,
wonderful.
and that Joe said, wow, I'm so blessed because he's also blind. I can now hear I can see with my ears.
Yes. Yes.
And so,
Yes.
so, you know, my wish is that all that has been reduced to noise in you becomes music again. And hopefully through the people that we bring to you to help inspire, make us stronger, make us recognize the things we need to be doing to make the world a better place, rather than sitting around and complaining and doing nothing.
Exactly.
We just need to find out what it is. Just like we're talking about going with the child trafficking. I know some people, because I've approached them, that know nothing about it.
Exactly.
And it's horrific.
And they've been on this earth a long time, too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They've been doing this for thousands of years.
And the things that Marty has persevered through the years to now be able to offer a USA company, fully made in the USA. And when you go to her website and see the beautiful, beautiful furniture, you'll see her heart in it. You'll see her love in it. Reno, time for you to say something.
Well, I will
here.
post a link to the Sioux Talk to make it
thank
easier
you.
for you guys to find it.
Thank
And
you.
Where did that come from, the Sioux Talk?
A group that I was involved in for about 6 years out in Temecula, Corona, Orange County, is a group that does the Sioux Talks. And I don't know if they're still doing them. I've lost track because I moved out of that area 3 years ago. So I tried to keep in touch with people, but you know, people get busy, and I don't take it personally. I know that people are busy and they have lives, and I'm not most important in their lives. So the Sioux Talk was something that Michelle started, and she's done an incredible job with it, and it was life affirming for me because of the fact that after all these years that I've lived on this earth, I never really dealt with it. I mean, I talked to doctors with, you know, a psychiatrist at one time, and, you know, you go to these appointments and it's very dry. And so when I was doing 6 months of, you know, rehearsing my speech and rehearsing how to produce it so that it meant something to people that came that night, you know, and starting it out in the closet, you know, in the dark. The stage was dark. And I was there asking my mom, why? Why are you doing this to me, Mommy? Why? And after God spoke to me in the closet, that was the last time I ever asked why. I didn't need to know why. And I just needed to love her and forgive her.
Well, Marty, I'm ever so grateful that you have come into our lives. We have been able to put you into more lives because this woman surrounds herself with love and inspiration. And so I repeat, Reno, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm speechless. No. No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, once again, I'll repeat myself because you know that I hope and pray that may everything that has been reduced to noise in you becomes music again, and that friendship and music and wonderful, wonderful people has no distance.
So
We love you. Thank
I
you,
love
Marty.
you.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Now we'll get, like I said, we had 400. As of today, we had 442
Wow.
views from last Friday.
Wow.